It's Liverpool versus Chelsea in the transfer window, and it's Liverpool versus Chelsea on Sunday. What's up, guys? It's James from CopLogic. Welcome back to the channel, and what a 24 hours that has just been. We've got quite a lot to go through here, so we're going to jump right into it. Don't forget, give the video a like if you do enjoy the content, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with everything going on. Let's dive into what happened last night. So, you probably know by now, last night Chelsea made a 48 million offer for Roméo Lavia. Apparently this bid arrived on Wednesday night, but it only broke to the media last night, and that's when it created absolute mayhem over on Twitter, with FSG out trending last night and also this morning, which could have something to do with what happened this morning, but we'll get into that in a second. So David Ornstein tweeted that Liverpool feel 50 million for Romeo Lavia is too much, and that Chelsea had made the 48 million offer, which is backed up by Fabrizio Romano saying that Liverpool's last proposal was worth 45 million and obviously was rejected. So Chelsea now have the highest bid for Romeo Lavia and remain in pole position in that race. However, Romeo Lavia does still want a move and favour a move to Liverpool. Obviously though, we're going to have to come back in and top that 48 million bid laid down by Chelsea. Then, according to Dave O'Cop this morning, Southampton have rejected Chelsea's bid for 48 million, so the race is still open, and it feels to me like Southampton are now ready to incite a bidding war. Rejecting that offer from Chelsea means that they're expecting Liverpool to come back with a higher offer. It's got to be 50 million at this point. If Chelsea have bid the 48, we've got to go 50 and hope that they accept it. However, if Chelsea are seriously in for the player and it's not just a smokescreen for them to sign Moises Caicedo, then this could incite a bidding war, which is something we don't really want to get involved in. Have to say, FSG have brought this on themselves by not just getting the deal done straight away, instead of messing about with a small club mentality, you know, trying to save a couple of million here and there. Three bids we've had rejected by Southampton. A championship club have rejected 3 bids from Liverpool Football Club, and here we are still going. We should have just dropped the 50 million straight away if they believe the play was worth it, if it's the player Jurgen Klopp wanted. If not, we should have walked away and gone and done some other business. We're now 3 days away from the opening game of the season, and we still don't have a defensive midfielder. Speaking of midfielders, I should also mention that Al Ahly confirmed today they have made a 12 million offer for Thiago. This is according to L'Equipe, but Fabrizio Romano has since come out and said that Thiago remains committed to Liverpool and no talks between the Saudi club and the player. He has rejected multiple bids from the Saudi side already and remains committed to Liverpool. So that's good to hear, because we can't afford to lose another midfielder. But anyway, getting back to the Lavia situation, of course, this leads to the absolute bombshell that dropped this morning, initially from Matt Law, that Liverpool have outbid Chelsea for Moises Caicedo. Now, we know Chelsea bid 80 million and that was rejected by Brighton. That would insinuate that Liverpool have bid over 80 million for a player. Very hard to believe. And then it was thought that Chelsea's offer for Lavia was linked to Liverpool outbidding them for Caicedo. So presumably these talks between Liverpool and Brighton didn't happen obviously this morning. They've happened previous to Wednesday when Chelsea put the bid in for Lavia, if this report is to be believed. Since then, however, James Pearce and Melissa Reddy have both reported that Liverpool have not yet bid on Caicedo, but talks have opened regarding the player. So there is some interest there from Liverpool on Caicedo and what exactly his situation is at Brighton and potentially with Chelsea, but no opening bid has been placed by the club, which is far more believable, because it's hard to believe that FSG would drop 80 million plus on a player like that, especially with what we've been dealing with in this transfer window and the arguments over a couple of million here and there. Meanwhile, Dave O'Cop did report that a bid was placed, so it's anyone's guess what's going on. It feels like it's just crazy transfer games. It's Liverpool versus Chelsea in the transfer window, and it's Liverpool versus Chelsea on Sunday, except the two players caught up in the middle of this are both defensive midfielders, of which Liverpool doesn't have one. Right now it feels like Chelsea are on top of this battle. And according to Jason Steinberg, Caicedo has his heart set on Chelsea. So you've also got to ask the question, if this interest is real, if this offer is real. I don't think it is, but if it is, do we really want a player that doesn't want to be at the club? I have to say I'm in two minds about this one. I don't actually think it's necessarily true that Caicedo only wants to move to Chelsea. He seems like a player that just wants to move to a big club. Chelsea don't even have European football. I find it hard to believe. I think it's more likely that Chelsea are the team that want Caicedo, and he's saying to Brighton, I want to go, because he wants to move to a bigger club. I don't believe Liverpool have put an offer in yet. I believe there are talks ongoing, but I don't think we've placed a bid, and that's probably why you're not hearing anything from Caicedo's side about wanting to go to Liverpool. Perhaps if we put a bid in, he would say he wants to come here, but can we afford to bid over 80 million? I don't think so personally. Either way, I'm not too worried about Caicedo and what he wants personally, as I don't think there's much truth to the whole only wants Chelsea thing. We do know, however, that Lavia was set on a move to Liverpool, and Klopp is a big fan of Lavia, but we also know from previous years when we've been linked to Caicedo that Klopp is a big fan of Caicedo as well, so I do think he would probably be open to either player. I just think Caicedo is probably too expensive for us. We have now, unfortunately though, been dragged into this entire mess regarding Lavia with Chelsea because FSG just didn't get the deal done in time, and it is becoming an absolute mess. Important to note as well, Football Daily are also reporting that Bayern Munich are in the race for Caicedo, so it could become an absolute gargantuan bidding war that, one, we don't want to be part of, and two, we haven't got the funds. We can't back it up. We can't back up a bidding war of the size of Bayern Munich and Chelsea. So honestly, we should just let Chelsea finish that race and we should get Lavia over the line. That's my opinion. To me, it still seems likely that the player ends up at Chelsea. Paul Joyce chimed in as well this morning saying that Liverpool have made contact for Caicedo, a player previously seen out of reach but still expected to join Chelsea. Liverpool sources say it's part of their due diligence in case Chelsea fail to land Caicedo. I feel personally that it's more likely that Liverpool have contacted Brighton in regards to Caicedo's situation, probably to check if Chelsea are still pushing for the player, to give Liverpool an indication of how much time and space they've got to negotiate for Romeo Lavia. You would then assume that Chelsea have gotten word that Liverpool have been sniffing around Caicedo, and someone like Todd Bowley is exactly the kind of character that would react immediately to that and throw a bid on Lavia. I think that's more than likely what's happened, honestly. I don't really think Chelsea are desperate for Lavia. I think what they want is Caicedo. I think what Liverpool want is Lavia. These players are going to move somewhere. The truth is we can probably only afford Lavia, so we've got to hope that we don't get caught out by this one and get absolutely blindsided by Chelsea. There's a real chance that both players end up at Chelsea. We know they've got the money. Liverpool need to do something, and they need to do something fast. A few sort of closing words from myself and my own opinion. I don't think we've bid on Caicedo. Personally, I'd be astounded if we could afford him, but the money is there. Like, it's not impossible that this could happen. The money's definitely there. It's just, we all know FSG don't want to spend that kind of money. Sadly, this is why FSG out was trending last night. And I'd also like to mention on that point, there was a mass media briefing this morning, and it's funny that obviously FSG out was trending last night, and now this morning we hear that Liverpool are in for Moises Caicedo. It could just be a smokescreen to shut the fans up and silence them. We don't know what the result of all of this is going to be, but what we do know is there was a lot of outrage last night, and then tonight we're hearing about these links to Caicedo. For now, I think we need to hold the line and wait for something more concrete in regards to both Romeo Lavia and Moises Caicedo, although I definitely would not be getting your heart set on Moises Caicedo coming to Liverpool because I really just can't see us spending that money, unfortunately. What we know for a fact, however, is that Chelsea have bid on Romeo Lavia, so there's definitely work to do there. If we want this player, we need to move now and we need to move fast. We know that something is going on with Caicedo. There's talks between Liverpool and Brighton, but I don't think it's any more substantial than that. And the final fact is that FSG have failed Jurgen Klopp in this transfer window either way. Whatever player we get, if we get anyone at all, it is an absolute failure on FSG's part. This rebuild is not the one we were promised. Time is running out, and Liverpool will play Chelsea on Sunday without a defensive midfielder. Make sure you sub to the channel. Make sure you give the video a like if you want FSG out of the club. Sub to the channel to stay up to date, and as always, we will see you guys in the next video. That's all for me. Peace.